All right. Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Let's do it.
We've been covering some pretty wild stuff in retail lately.
Mm.
Macy's closing stores left and right.
Yeah.
Big Lots basically going belly up.
Yeah. Tough times out there for sure.
But this one is just a total shocker. Party City, the place for all your party needs, they are shutting down.
Wow.
All their stores. Gone.
You're kidding.
And the crazy part, it's happening like right now.
Seriously.
Yeah. Days before Christmas. Thousands of employees out of a job.
Man, talk about bad timing.
Right. It's really wild, the whole thing.
Well, it's not entirely out of the blue, is it? I mean, Party City has been struggling for a while, haven't they?
Yeah, they filed for Chapter 11 back in January.
Right.
Came out of it in October. But the CEO, he was all optimistic, talking about new strategies, a bright future. They even opened a whole new headquarters in New Jersey last year. So it's like, what happened?
I mean, competition's fierce. We've seen that with Macy's, Big Lots. Everybody's feeling the pressure from Walmart, Target, and of course, Amazon.
In Party City, their business model, it always felt kind of, fragile.
Yeah, very reliant on seasonal sales. You miss a couple of those big holidays, it's tough to recover.
Plus, didn't they have that whole helium issue?
Oh, yeah, that was a big one. Rising helium costs really hitting their balloon business hard.
Did they ever try to, diversify, maybe get away from products that needed so much helium, or find other options?
They did try to branch out a bit, I think, more personalized party stuff, licensing deals with popular brands.
Huh.
But it seems like it was either too little, too late, or just not enough to, make a real difference. They were stuck with rising costs, shrinking profits, and just couldn't keep up with how fast retail is changing.
And then there's the pandemic, right?
Yeah, you have to factor that in.
A lot of retailers are bouncing back, but maybe Party City, they just never recovered from those lockdowns and all that social distancing.
Probably played a part, disrupted supply chains, changed how people spend money, maybe even how we think about big parties. But here's the really strange thing. The New Jersey Department of Labor, they haven't gotten any warn notices from Party City.
Warn notices?
Yeah, those are legally required for mass layoffs. You have to give employees and the state at least 60 days notice.
Oh, right.
So no warn notices, it just adds to the mystery of this whole thing.
So they're not just closing, they're closing fast.
Exactly.
Almost like they're trying to disappear before anyone can say anything.
Could be.
What happens to all those employees now? Especially right before Christmas. And what about all their inventory? Are we going to see crazy clearance sales?
It's a mess, no doubt about it. There are already reports of some stores slashing prices, customers finding huge discounts on decorations, costumes, everything.
Wow.
Yeah, it's rough for the employees, especially this time of year. And no warn notices. That raises legal questions, too.
Like what?
Were they trying to avoid bad publicity? Or were they hoping for some miracle that never came?
I saw an article about a shopper in Manhattan found a $30 item for $4. Have you seen any deals like that? It's like watching a party end suddenly. Everyone just grabbing whatever they can before it's all gone.
Yeah, I've heard similar stories.
What about their online stores? That's shutting down too.
It's hard to say. Their website's still up, but who knows for how long? This whole situation really shows you how fragile brick-and-mortar retail is these days.
Yeah.
But maybe, just maybe, this isn't just about one company failing. Maybe it's part of a bigger change in how we celebrate, how we buy things, how we connect with each other.
Okay, now you've got me intrigued. Is this the beginning of the end for party supply stores?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, we've seen other retailers struggle, and it's pretty clear that, people are changing how they spend their money.
Right, like when we talked about Macy's department stores in general, they're having to totally rethink things.
Exactly.
And Big Lots, they just couldn't really make that discount thing work the way others have.
Yeah.
So if Party City is going down, does that mean people just aren't into throwing parties anymore?
Actually, the data shows the party supply market is still growing.
Really?
Yeah, it's more that the way we party is changing, Smaller gatherings, more personalized touches, maybe a bigger focus on sustainability, using decorations you can keep instead of all that disposable stuff.
Huh, interesting.
Party City, with their huge stores and all those generic products, maybe they just didn't adapt to those changes and what people want.
And you mentioned sustainability, which makes me think about all those single-use party supplies. Balloons, plastic tableware, all that stuff ends up in landfills.
Right.
Could Party City going out of business actually be a good thing for the environment?
That's an interesting way to look at it. As people become more eco-conscious, there's definitely a growing demand for sustainable alternatives.
Yeah,
Maybe this creates space for smaller businesses that focus on eco-friendly party stuff.
right.
Or even encourages people to get more creative with DIY decorations. It's not about celebrating less, but celebrating differently.
Makes you wonder if Party City could have, pivoted, maybe offered a selection of higher quality, sustainable things alongside their regular stuff.
Possibly, but that would mean a totally different business model, maybe one they just couldn't handle.
Sure.
But their failure to adapt, it does raise a bigger question.
What's that?
Is this a sign of things to come for other specialty retailers? If a giant like Party City can disappear so quickly, what does that mean for the future of retail in general?
Okay, now you're really making me think. Is this the end of physical stores as we know it?
It's not necessarily the end, but it's definitely a wake-up call. Retailers need to offer something unique, something you can't get online.
Like that.
Maybe personalized service, curated experiences, or tapping into that desire for community and connection that we all seem to be craving. The stores that can figure that out, they'll be the ones that survive.
So Party City might be gone, but the party's not over. It's just like evolving.
Exactly. And maybe that evolution leads to something even better. More thoughtful celebrations, more conscious consumption, more genuine connection. It's a chance for us to redefine what it means to mark life's milestones.
I like that chance to redefine celebration. What would that even look like?
Mhm.
I love that idea, really shifting our focus. It's not about like mourning the store closing. It's about seeing how our values are changing and maybe using this as a chance to get back to what really matters.
Exactly. And maybe this is where technology comes in. We've already seen how online platforms can help people get together virtually, create new ways to connect. Maybe the future of celebration is more about personalized experiences, online communities with shared interests, even augmented reality, like adding a whole new layer to our gatherings.
It is fascinating to think about all that. Instead of going to some big warehouse for generic party stuff, maybe we'll be making our own decorations with 3D printers or going to virtual costume parties with friends all over the world.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we'll even see new businesses popping up that are all about this new way of celebrating.
The possibilities are really exciting, right? Imagine a platform that connects local artists and bakers with people planning parties so you get more unique, personalized celebrations.
Oh, that's cool.
Or apps that help you organize sustainable parties with tips on eco-friendly decorations and finding local organic food.
It sounds like Party City closing, as sad as it is for all the employees, might actually lead to a more creative, personalized, and sustainable way of celebrating.
Maybe it's silver lining, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I think this is a really important takeaway for our listeners. Pay attention to these changes happening in retail. They're not just about companies failing. They often show us how our values are changing, our habits, how we interact with the world.
That's a great point. It's something for all of us to think about, not just as shoppers, but as people who are shaping the future of how we celebrate, connect, and find joy in the years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been a fascinating deep dive. As always, thanks for joining me.
It was my pleasure.
To all our listeners out there, keep those thinking caps on and keep celebrating. And remember, the best party is the one you create yourself, surrounded by people you care about. Stay curious, everyone.